our guest speaker for tonight would be presenting in phases. So we've had the physical demonstration when your eyes nearly popped out your heads. And now I'm going to invite John to come back up and to describe to you his journey to where he is today. So John Farnworth, everybody. Thank you.
I don't really want to come here and talk about my achievements. It's not really my way. I don't really like to brag about what I've done, because in my mind I had much of a bigger vision than that. I see myself growing every single day. But before I finish, I just wanted to speak about some of the things I've learned through following my passion and having a vision in life and following that with the whole of your heart. And hopefully the same can happen for you guys. You know, you guys are at an exciting point in your life now. You can do anything you want. So hopefully this will inspire you to go on and do that. So the main thing I realized was when things started to take off for me, you know, nobody really kind of spotted me. I just worked hard, and I realized that the vision one person has is so strong. You know, when you think about something, the mind is extremely powerful. And I realized that even though that night when I went home I was a little bit down, I saw in my mind that what I could do, and that was to travel the world, visit people, and my big vision was to inspire millions of people through what I do, and that was performing, speaking, teaching, all these different things. And it made me realize that everything in the world, everything was created twice. It was created first in the mind, and then later it was created physically. And if you look into science, even in quantum physics, they say, you know, thoughts are actually things. You know, you put yourself on that frequency of what you want to achieve, and it's inevitable. If you think from your heart, I think the ancient Greeks said that, as a man thinketh out of his heart, so he shall become, and it's so true. I always think of it as like a radio. You know, if you want to listen to Radio 1, Radio 1's right here now. But unless you tune into that, then you can't listen to it. So it's important that you tune into your vision, tune into your dream. And a part of my journey, I've been lucky. I've got some fantastic people around me, the people that supported me. And I think when you choose what you want to do and you have that vision, it's important to surround yourself with the right people. So surround yourself with people that believe in your vision. I always surround myself with my friends that support me. I think, you know, in an environment, you know, you can grow up in Manchester, you grow up with a Mancunian accent, London, you get a Cockney accent, a Southern accent, but these are all learned behaviours from our environment. So make sure that you surround yourself with the right people, and that will enable you to do great things on a day-to-day basis. But every day what I try and do, and hopefully you guys can take this as well, is I always break things down. One of the hardest things that I ever did was I completed the London Marathon. And no one had done that at the time, and it was something that I always wanted to do. But to begin with, I didn't believe I could do that until one of my friends, who was a marathon runner, he said, "Do you think you could do a marathon while keeping the ball in the air?" And I was like, yeah, of course I can. Then I thought, well, can I actually do it? So I put myself to the challenge, and I applied for it, and we did it. We did it for a charity. But when I first started training for the marathon, it was quite funny actually. I went out, I did 5 miles on my first training session, and I was terrible. I was tired, I kept losing the ball, my concentration was everywhere, and I was like, what am I going to do? I went to my mum, I was like, I can't do it. I've set myself up for this, I'm never going to do it. People were talking about it on TV, on the radio, in the papers. I was like, I'm gonna fail. But when I went home, I realized that if I broke it down into small bits, then I would be able to do that. So the next day, I didn't really worry about going too far. I just did 1 mile. The next day, I did 2 miles. The day after that, 3 and 4 and 5, until eventually I did the 26 miles. And it took me 12 hours in the end. It was pretty mad. It was one of the hardest things I've done, but I don't believe, I probably wouldn't have been able to do it without breaking it down. And I think that's helped me in all areas of my life, really, whether it's a skill I'm learning. Another tough thing for me was learning to do a backflip. So that was quite hard because of the fear element. But again, I realized if I broke it down, surrounding myself with the right people that were going to help me and support me, then I would be able to do it. That's just one example. But it's nice to be invited to these things and speak, because I hope that, you know, it does inspire in some way. I don't see myself as a star in particular. I just do what I do, and if people like that, that's absolutely fine. But for every success that I've had, there's been like hundreds of things that I've failed at, tons of things. And it's hard because people always focus on the successes and, you know, that's fine, that's great, that's how we live our lives. But it's those days when you get setbacks, you know. I think everyone in here has a dream that it's never going to be straightforward. And it's those days, like, you know, you come up against the struggle. But when you see you'll never get a crisis without a blessing, never. And when you see the blessing within that crisis, you're able to grow from it and get better. I think when bad things happen to us and we think, oh, it's not fair, we start to blame things, and then we end up going back and we stop growing. We stop growing. So one thing I have found is that, you know, I've had certain injuries last year. I was learning a side flip, my ankle went, and I was like, but I realised that I had to use my energy in different things, and it made me stronger, and now I'm back learning it, and in a few weeks I'll have that. Next year I'll be better and better. So every day I'm trying to grow and use those experiences. And you guys you'll have had stuff. I think it's hard coming up through school. When I was younger, I was really small, and I was never accepted in the football team. I was told you're too small to do anything in football. But I kept going, I kept practicing behind closed doors, and now I'm traveling the world, working in the football industry, and I've worked with some of the biggest stars. So if something bad happens, just smile at the people and carry on, because it is the best thing to do. And the last thing that I've really learned, and this is the most important thing for me, is that everyone has a journey, and that's unique to you. Everyone has a vision. My vision is quite big, I'm quite ambitious, I want to travel the world, I want to inspire millions. But you can do whatever you want. You might want to be a doctor, you might want to be a scientist, a footballer, an actor, that doesn't matter. You might just want to raise a family, that doesn't matter. But it's important that you're clear on what you do, but also enjoy the journey of that. You know, don't really worry about the future, because the future is just a concept. You can't control the future. You can set goals, and you can be aware of where you want to go. But unless you enjoy the moments that make the future, then it'll all fall down. So even when you get to the future, it'll still be in the present moment. I think freestyle allows me to stay in that. When I'm training, I'm happy. And I think Albert Einstein said, when you're doing something that's really valuable and you enjoy doing, time just flies. And that's what I've found. So it's all about the journey. I think it was Alan Watts said about the journey. It's like life is like music. You shouldn't just sit there. You should dance and enjoy it the whole way through. And that's what I've able myself to do. A lot of people come up to me, and the most popular question is like, how do you create new tricks? How do you create new moves? And I honestly can't answer that. But all I know is that when I'm kind of focused and I'm living on that journey, when I'm in that moment, magic happens, and I'm sure that's the same in any career that you pursue. So I'm going to finish on that, guys, because I know you guys have been sat down for so long. But again, I'd like to thank you for your fantastic response, and again, I'd like to give my gratitude to you all. And listen, guys, good luck in everything you do, but remember, it's important to follow what you enjoy. I mean, freestyle was never on the agenda when I was at school, even your age. But if you don't know what you're doing now, it still doesn't matter. Keep searching and you'll find it. So thank you so much.